Hi, this is Angela, and today we're looking at the Connecting with Heart series, and this video is looking at the throat chakra. So we're looking at how do we connect with our heart more clearly, and how do we connect our heart with the throat chakra to give us a clearer sense of what is the difference between the heart and the throat chakra. That's one reason. But the other piece is our throat and our heart are very much connected in how we share ourselves through language, through seeking out connection to others. We use our words to invoke things in our life, to say, I want this. We use affirmations to attract to us more of what we want. We also use words to sort of invoke things that aren't so great for us. So once the throat and the heart are integrated, the language that you use, your consciousness about the words that you use is much better. So what does integration mean? Integration between your heart chakra and your throat chakra. A lot of it is about life experience and learning how some of the things that we say are things that we carry, beliefs or thoughts or feelings about our self-worth or about the self-worth of our species, our human species, that are not so great, and how to change that. So some of the spiritual traditions of humanity have really taught us about that. Be careful with your language. But when we try to implement that in our lives, it's not so easy because of our emotional brain. Humans are not very good at managing when we have trauma or bad experiences. We tend to create thoughts that are negative, and so that comes out as words that are negative. We also tend to create negative perceptions about our body and about how people treat us or how we treat others. And so that creates language that then becomes not so helpful to appreciating your body, respecting other people, appreciating this life, this gift of life that we've been given. So let me just review one of the purposes of the throat chakra from a spiritual perspective. And I am going to give a very quick tip on how to connect to it energetically, but this is a large part of how to grow spiritually. So when we're connecting to the heart, why do we do it? Why have many of our spiritual traditions used the words and the language that we use to connect to the divine and to invoke wonderful things for our species and to invoke things like laws that protect the whole group, the whole community? Why have we done that? Well, one of the things we've realized as we've evolved as a human species is that we're not just animals, and we are trying to become something greater. And we've used things like God to help us to aspire to be a greater human being. And we've used prayer or invocation for thousands of years to invoke those better aspects of the human being. But, you know, we've also judged the human being at the same time for not being good enough. So the words have really been important for invoking the divine and for knowing that we're not just a human being here for no reason. We have a spiritual purpose. So in the title of the video, I've said the throat chakra is very much about realizing through our words that we're not just here for ourselves. We're here for the collective human species, and we're here to connect to the divine, to these other spiritual aspects of ourself that we don't really understand, but we know that there's something bigger than us. And we use our throat chakra to call on the divine, to worship the divine, even to use words of kindness to our fellow human beings, to gather people together. We even use the throat chakra when we invoke human laws to say ethically, we need to do the right thing, because we know through these laws somehow we can try to control the negative aspects of the human beings, the animalistic aspects of the human beings, or the part of the human mind that is basically very emotionally triggered or reptilian-based brain motivations that make us more greedy or don't really care about other people, just want what we want. So ultimately, the throat chakra and the use of language has been enormous for balancing how we operate from our hearts versus our primitive brain, and also how we operate from the higher mind, the mind that thinks about where are we going as a species. So if you're working with integrating your heart and your throat chakra, I have a lot of those tools from the other meditation work that I do. But today I just want to give you a sense of the expansion of your throat so you can sense a larger sense of the throat chakra. And as I work with people as well, we have to do sometimes a real sense of the differentiation between the heart center and the throat center. So one simple technique that I do use, which came through some of the dance work that I've done, is a sense of the expansion of the throat. And one thing you can do, and I use touch, for you it may not be something you want to do right now, but you can just watch while I'm moving through the exercise. And it's a lot to do with some of the skills that you might know from yoga if you practice yoga. So in yoga, one of the things that they tell us is to have the collarbones wide. And that helps to feel that expansion of your heart or your sternum and expansion of the chest. So one thing that you can try now is just to feel the collarbones with your fingertips. So I use the tips of the middle fingers, the second, third, and fourth finger, and I just have them there gently touching the collarbone. And I feel or sense that gentle lift and expansion of the collarbone. And then with my imagination, I imagine that the collarbones are radiating out and up to the sides of my neck. So I can feel an energetic lift from the collarbones, and I can feel like gills of a fish on the sides of the neck, and that the sides of the neck are also radiating out to the sides. And I feel the widening of the energy of the sides of the neck. So it's almost like there's a ray of light radiating out from the sides of the neck, and my collarbones are lifting up and also moving to the sides and opening up the space around the neck. And it's just a quick way to feel not just the lift of your heart center and the sternum area, but to feel the side of your body around the neck area by opening up the collarbones and feeling the energy space above the collarbones, and feeling the collarbones also moving out at the same time. So our chakra energy starts to open up the space physically around that part of the body. And that's just a quick way to start sensing into the side parts of the throat area and the neck area, which I describe as a chalice or a cup, or the top of the chalice of the cup. So if your eyes are closed, you can just gently open them, and I'll just map the chalice so you can understand what I'm describing. So in belly dance, we often use our heart center as the center of the chest lift. And traditionally, it was a celebration of the heart chakra. So the collarbones are like the top of a cup or a chalice, and then the circle around the chest area to the sternum was the bottom of the cup. So that chalice area was framed by the collarbones, and then the bottom of the chalice frames the chest area underneath the chest. And it's that cup and the rays that come from above the cup that elevate and open up the energy of the heart to radiate up into the throat and the neck. So it's a concept I use in a lot of my belly dance work to feel the energy of the heart chakra so that when you go to move that part of your body, you're not feeling like you have to do it from a muscular level, but it's a celebration of your own heart space. And that energizes the throat area. So your throat and your heart are very much intertwined. And sometimes we can find that when we're disconnected, our throat and our heart, that we can find it very hard to feel what our heart is picking up. And it's an important evolutionary point that we're at as a species, to learn how to integrate the throat and the heart, to learn how to use language to connect to others in our own community, to ask for what we need, to speak with kindness, and to speak with respect of their differences, and not expect them to be what we want, but to really actually understand what they are and who they are and what they want. And also to talk to the divine and to invoke the divine, to ask for grace, to ask for insights that we may not yet have at this stage of our evolution. I mentioned in the video on artificial intelligence that people are freaking out because we don't know what's to come. So the next video, I'm going to touch on that with the unknown when we get to our third eye chakra. And let's explore how we can not freak out and actually tune in to one of the most powerful abilities that we have as a species, to see by using our third eye. If you want to find out more about discovering your intuition, I want to know what you want to learn. And in the description of the video, I have a quick survey where you can share what you're looking for. And also just comment on this video below and let me know as well what your interest is in developing your intuition, or developing a deeper embodied connection with your own intuition. That's definitely one of my skills that I share. And how you would like to discover more about feeling, so you can develop a deeper connection with yourself and your own journey.